Brooklyn, coated but polished. You already know what it is. What's good? This episode is very, very, very important to me. I take this episode even more serious than all, actually I take the rest of them serious, but this is extremely important. This hits like home as far as, me being a father myself. And this is about, first of all, big shout out to all the single mothers out there that's doing it, that been doing it since the beginning of time, and always carrying a super load on their backs. When I think of a woman, genuinely, I think of automatically that picture of your boy Atlas with the whole entire world on his back. And this is no cap. When I think of a woman, I think of that picture of Atlas with the whole entire world on his back. And to be honest, I'm gonna keep it a G, a trillion, because it's way more than a billion, of course. So I'm gonna keep it super G. I think that concept belongs to the women. They should have had a woman picture instead of, the guy Atlas. They should have had a woman with the whole world on her back, like Venus, or Aphrodite, well, I think that is Venus is Aphrodite, if I'm not mistaken, excuse me. Or Athena, you know what I mean? So it's very, I just really tilt my hat and really recognize the true definition and real factors when it comes down to women. I really realistically look at it for what it really is. And I'm a male, so that's a AAA plus for me. So this is about who's raising who. And this is a very important episode for me, and it hits that deep because it's really sad that when you scroll past certain people content online, and it's been going on for about a couple of long years now, and it's really sad how it's a lot of parents and the ones the videos that I came across, who knows, it's probably fathers doing this too. But the videos that I came across so far, when I do come across them, and it be randomly, like I could just be randomly scrolling, being a little bored or whatever, and the content that I come across, when it's always the mother behind the camera recording their child, the youngest be the age of 5 or 4, cussing up a storm like they already 22. I mean, they speak clearly, very advanced for their age. And the mother is right behind the cameras, laughing and giggling, creating content, for the world to see. But my thing is like, out of all the things that you could come up with for a fact, and I know you can, as the intelligent woman that I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt. I'm gonna give a large percentage of the women out there the benefit of the doubt. So out of all that greatness you got going on mentally, and out of all the things to choose from regarding content, you choose your child, your innocent, beautiful child. And then when you do pick your innocent, beautiful child, a child for content, you pick your child for content to use your child as a clown. Because that's what you're doing. You're using your child to perform like a clown. Like Barnum and Bailey's Ringling Brothers, children. So, and It is what it is. I call it like I see it, man. It is what it is. If the shoe don't fit, don't put that you know what on. If it don't apply, don't let it fly. Take what you need, if it's beneficial, and leave the rest. So anyway, and it angers me. It does. Because I'm like, listen, and I'm from the hood. Born and raised from Brooklyn, East New York, St. Mary's Hospital, from the streets, real talk. My family is official. I'm official. But we don't teach our children that. We don't do that. And then even more so, which makes it even more crazy, you go out your way to use your child for online content to show the world not only how your child has a beyond super potty mouth, and listen, and you can't say they wasn't taught. They only babies. They don't know no better. You know what I'm saying? They don't know no better. They only babies. Kids are that's not a cliche saying. Kids are literally like sponges. They absorb everything. They absorb everything. Everything they absorb. They mimic everything, especially when they're young like that. So you can't tell me they're not being taught, because they can't teach themselves that. So that's a no-go on that. Like, excuses. So yeah, and it's really sad. I come across that that type of content, and the mothers literally be in the background laughing. I mean, laughing up a storm. So I can't even use the word ratchet. Ratchet is not even the title to even place or give that type of woman. Like it's a whole nother level and name entitled up the place upon those type of women. And it is what it is. I'm calling like I see it. Like, and to be honest, I'm not trying to tell you how to parent, but I am going to put out a very, very exclusive, very imperative, great message, moral message, and education about what's cool and what's not cool. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you're using your children, your innocent children involved. So that's beyond a red flag within itself. And you could tell those type of mothers, they're very, very super batshit crazy. They probably extremely combative with a whole lot of stuff. Like, that's just they go-to. Because ain't no way that if you're a official stand-up mother that you definitely that you would still use your child or teach your child, that it's okay, especially at a young, very age like that, to use that type of language. Like if they was already in their 30s. That is not cool. So anyway, I'm going to get into this. It's called Who's Raising Who? Reclaiming Authority in the Modern Home. When children lead and parents follow, and how to restore respect without losing love. So with that being said, is a lot. On the outside looking in, I've seen a lot of situations where a lot of parents that single mothers at that raise their children on their own, the best of their ability, and even more so, being from where I'm from, or anybody for that matter, no matter what state you from, and where there's a hood or whatever the case may be, or the streets period. In our cases, raising a child in the hood around all of that extremely negative influence. Like, even if you're not in the streets all the time, crossing paths and walking by on the streets with your child, it still starts from home. Whether if it's in the streets, or you being from the streets, but you in your house around that area. And it always starts from home. The type of family you have, your cousins, your nieces, your nephews, your sisters, your brothers, the especially the family, the type of family you got, that For them to be from the hood is they extremely super over the top loud, super over the top ratchet, or like just super duper amplified in so many aspects and ways regarding being ratchet. And when you have those relatives that come over, or how they always put it out there, how it seems where, or it does happen. I mean, my family ain't like that for a fact. So, and I'm not projecting or deflecting facts, but I'm still going to speak on what is very much a factor that's going on for a fact out there in the world. No cap. I'm not going to sugarcoat any of that. So anyway, you have the kids who talk to the parents, especially and even more in this day and age. I mean, they talk to the parents like the parents is literally their child, and it's not even, and they talk to their parents like if they, like the children are like the children is have the behavior of somewhat like how you would describe an abusive parent, how they would be towards a child. The children and a child is like that towards the parent. Like, it's crazy. And it's really, really disturbing how these kids talk to parents the way that they talk to their parents, with no regard, no type of moral respect, no type of any self-awareness of the fact that's their parent and they're the child, and they supposed to honor thy mother and thy father. If the father's not in the picture, you're supposed to honor thy mother, regardless to whom or what, especially if she's a good mother and she's doing her very best. And I done seen situations on the outside looking in the street, and unfortunately, I'm gonna keep it a G. The type of parent, and I know it's Caucasian white brothers and sisters that are parents where they children have that type of mouth. It happens to them too, but all the parents that I have crossed paths with due to this type of stuff, it always been my peoples, my sisters, especially from the hood. How like me on the outside looking in, me seeing how this child in the street in public is really talking crazy to his mother in front of people. That is ridiculous. That is amazingly ridiculous. Like, and I'll be so upset. And me as a father, I'm like, damn, I know she's a single mother, and she probably ain't got no man in her life or no real father in her, no real, she probably ain't got a husband, and the child probably ain't even got no father figure in his life or he or her life. And it's sad, and don't get me wrong, that absentee father, that plays a big role, but ultimately it's a large percentage of other single mothers out there that is so strong and so official when it comes down to their upbringing and how they was raised with morals and principles and kindness and just all the great things that, whether if it's a man or a woman, that's instilled in them since young, of how to carry yourself properly and act accordingly, the proper way, in a positive way, and as stand up as you can be, and definitely implement those tools that your parents taught you. It's really crazy because, like, even now as me thinking about it, it's like, and I'm a thinker, so even now as me thinking about it is really, really disturbing. It really is. And I done seen kids that's around 6 years old, 5 years old, call a mother a B, tell a mother to suck my D, and invite their mother to they Frank stand. They be at the age of 5, 6, 7. And then what makes it even more sad is that now these crazy mothers that is not wrapped too tight, that's batshit crazy, Like, and they normalize it and think it's so cute. They now using their children for content for the world to see regarding this type of behavior. And they be right behind the camera laughing. It's crazy. Like, this is the Twilight Zone. This is the era of the Twilight Zone. No cap. So anyway, I ain't gonna waste too much time. So this episode is not about attacking children. It's about confronting parental inconsistency, gentle parenting without boundaries. And that's the whole thing of where parents want to be more of they kid's best friend. She wants to treat her daughter more like their homegirl rather than you carrying yourself and playing a part as a mother to that child. So you rather be that child's homegirl, yeah, girl, and you molding her to be that way. And like I said again, it's not a cliche saying. Kids are like sponges. Literally, they like sponges. They absorb everything. They mimic everything. It's like Play-Doh. It's like when you play with Play-Doh. You're molding your children. And that's that. And them being around that age, around that young age, you're molding them. That's the perfect time to mold a child, when they're babies or when they're toddlers or when you're teaching them. But see, unfortunately, the type of shit that those type of mothers are teaching their kids, it's something extremely disturbing and disgusting, if you ask me. Like, in general, if I was single, I wouldn't want to be with none of those type of women at all. I don't get it. And even if they look good, and that'd be the so-called, I'm not trying to go off the topic, but be the thing that they be so quick try to use as a weapon. Oh, I'm a catch because I look so good and I have a job. That's it. There's more to it, way much more to it than just that. All you mentioned was just a fraction of an inch, or just a fraction. I say a fraction of what a relationship consists of, or what it consists of you being a great person, not perfect, or even if it's not great, but a stand-up woman in every aspect, even with integrity, doing the right things when no one's looking type. And that doesn't mean about cheating or anything. That goes for everything else as well. And unfortunately, it's a lot of those mothers that they really go out their way to teach these babies these unfortunate, very, very disturbing, unfortunate behaviors. And they really pride themselves on that. And so when you teach your child from young that you're more like a bestie or a homegirl, homeboy to your child more than you are a parent, that's the results you're going to get. You're molding your child just like anything else that you teach your child about when they're young, to instill in them and embed in their minds as they're being raised. The same thing when you're teaching them that type of behavior, that you're going to get the results. What you put into the universe is what you get out of it. So what you instilled in your child is what you're going to get out. It's simple. Gentle parenting without boundaries. So like you doing a little light parenting, like, oh, no, don't do that. No, don't do that. No, that's not right. No, you don't do that. That's not right. Okay. All right. You if you keep it up, but you know, so subtle and gentle with it. Like you're so quick to think about what somebody else would think if you, not saying abuse your child, of course, hell no. But when it comes down to like putting your foot down, the true definition, look up the true definition of what boundaries is, or what boundaries are, excuse me. Look up the true definition of that. Nobody looks up the definitions of things anymore. Nobody really I got my dictionaries always. Like, I got my Merriam-Webster dictionary. I got the other dictionary. Like, you know, we all have these. So it's imperative that we all get back to like really, really sharpening our brains, man, like, or brushing our brains, you know, up a little bit, you know, from time to time. There's nothing wrong with that, you know, jumping back into the books a little something, something. Or don't take time out at all to look up a word real quick. You can Google it, Chat GBT. That's my favorite, but that's my best friend right there. You know what I mean? Like, use the tools. Like, a lot of us in general think that, oh, if we go to sharpen our brains, oh, that means that makes us less smart. No, like, it's a lot of prideful and real insecure people out there when it comes down to like those type of things. So it's about also social media influence replacing structure. Just got finished talking about that, how these mothers are using their kids for content, for that type of content. You're using your babies, your precious, beautiful, innocent babies for that type of content. Out of all the content to use and have, that's the most comfortable content that you comfortable with, using your innocent, beautiful child for that type of negative content. It's also about parents seeking friendship over leadership. Wow. You know what I'm saying? Like, discipline being confused with abuse. Just said that. A lot of parents that's scared. They so on walking up on eggshells, especially in this day and age. It ain't like back in my day. I'm born in 81, so I'm an 81, definitely 81, and 90s baby. 80s baby, but I'm definitely a 90s baby, of course, as well. So I'm an 80s baby as far as born in that year, but of course, I'm definitely rocked out 90s. So the 80s, the little bit of the 80s that I had as I came into this world, and then the whole entire 90s, and then moving forward. So yeah, you already know. So and this is also about, yeah, so anyway, back to that. It's a large percentage of adults who are parents, they walk on eggshells, and they so worried about their kids going to CPS or, you know, child protective services, no matter what state you in or where you from, and they so worried about they children or neighbors, or even you know, if they on the street. I done seen that a lot on the street, parents getting their children behinds in public, like not beating them or anything like that, but really like disciplining them verbally, like definitely putting their foot down, telling them no, you out of, you know, you can't be serious, da 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 da. And you know, some parents, of course, unfortunately, be a little bit too aggressive verbally in front of a public full of people, which is not cool. I done seen that a lot. But yeah, you know, so like I said, it's not back in my time, where my era and before my era, where when it come down to, especially the our peoples, my culture, like when they get in they children's behind and set things straight, like you getting set straight, you know, and it's not abuse or anything like that. But you ain't gonna talk to me crazy. I brought you into this world. Like, you ain't gonna just talk to me any kind of way. Like, that's crazy. So that, and nowadays, a large percentage of parents, they so scared about not even just getting in trouble from the authorities. They so scared about what their neighbors think. Now that social media is the way it is, and again, it goes back to that social media influence replacing structure. So now that these social media platforms, these children think is that of course is a safe space, an extremely great safe space and outlet for them to feel even more comfortable to behave the way that they behave. And unfortunately, these parents, they allow their children, of course, to be so much into the social media thing where they just allow them to be so spoiled with it that they don't have no type of structure. They don't have no type of structure in place for their child or children. And then here we go. Authority being abandoned out of guilt or exhaustion. So, you got some mothers, like I said in the beginning, unfortunately, that raised their children as a single mother, really, really had everything on their back, carried everything on their back, did everything that a man can do twice as more, and for most did it better than in comparison to even if they did have a male father figure in a circle. And I tilt my hat to those strong women. And some women, unfortunately, enduring all of that stress and being a single mother and doing everything by themselves, and especially if it's a situation where they done lost their job or they done got laid off, or things for some reason they had a season where things is not really looking up as they thought it or hope it would be, or how they really in their heart hope it would get better, but then it didn't for some reason. And sometimes, unfortunately, that's the way life works. Life is life. There ain't nothing you can do about that. It's a lot of things that us as human beings, we can't control. And there's a lot of things that we can control. But for the most part, is a lot of entities out there in the real world that, shit happens and you don't have no control over it. So, and then they exhaust all that they all these beautiful superpowers that they already had, and they just got tired. They done exhaust all their resources mentally, all their energy. And then some mothers, I seen it on the outside. When you talk about that, they done exhaust everything to the point where they so drained, they start to resent that child, or they start to resent the children that they raise, or that, and unfortunately for some mothers, they start to get that PTSD, and then it metamorphs into something else. And then that's when it hits a level where then you have those situations where the mother, is really doing something really heinous to that child or children that she ain't got no business doing, because simple fact, she's so fed up and tired of raising or tired of being a mother. Those type of cases done happen. I'm a true crime buff, history buff. I'm a true crime buff to the T. Pause. Like, that's my thing since I was yay high. Like, forensic files is one of my favorites. Actually, my number one favorite. So I done watched a lot of those type of cases and stuff like that. So anyway, and then in some cases, some others, they just give up. Like, when they exhaust all their energy in raising a child by themselves, they give up. And to be honest, some of those, unfortunately, also, they be the type to be so quick to want to always be in a man face, and they'll be quick to choose a man over their children, because they love the love for their children. It done faded. So children are not naturally rulers of the home. When they dominate, structure collapse somewhere. So again, children are not naturally rulers of the home. When they dominate, structure collapse somewhere. Disrespectful children are not new. That been going on for a long time, for a very long time. Now it's more amplified, like I said, to the point where we got these beautiful outlets, we got these platforms, to the point where, like I said, you got these type of mothers that's really using a beautiful, innocent children for content, for this type of content. And it's like you telling the world, look at me, look at how I parent. And this is how you should parent too. That's basically what you're saying. So for whoever to come across this, I'm not saying what you should do, because if you it's whatever you do with your children is your business, and ultimately that ain't got nothing to do with me. But it's mothers out there that do want to learn. It's mothers out there that love these type of messages and great information, and I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to stop putting that beautifulness out there, or that beauty out there. Much love this type of wisdom and education, because it's very imperative. Like I said, this is the platform that you can come to, and this is the platform where we're gonna have the conversations that nobody like to have. Bottom line. So yeah, it says that disrespectful children are not new. Throughout history, ancient Rome recorded youth mocking elders. In the 1800s, newspapers complained about unruly, modern children. Every generation says, these kids are worse. What's different now? So again, throughout history, back since ancient Rome recorded, look it up, back since ancient Rome recorded, the youth mocking elders. Like, nah, 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 nah. No, like, they probably wasn't, well, who knows? Because they was cussing in Rome. I mean, back in Rome, in those days, I'm pretty sure they was saying those same foul languages or whatever. But the only difference is they had the accent. So I could see it. And they even have movies, you know what I mean? Like how the kids be disrespectful to the parents in Rome, like even way back in those times. Or even in the medieval days, or Middle Earth, when you watch those movies and they do have the children, they show the parts with the children. And some of those movies where the children be throwing horse doodle at the adults and stuff like that, and throwing things and throwing fruits and vegetables, or trying to be real mean like the adults are. It's crazy. So yeah, going back since the 1800s, and the newspapers complained about unruly modern children, and then every generation, of course, says these kids are worse. And what's the difference now? Digital overstimulation, children exposed to adult conversations, peer validation online. Of course, the friends and the influence of their peers and their age that feed them with a whole bunch of crap, of course. Parents emotionally exhausted, authority weakened by fear of being too strict, like I said earlier. Disrespect today spreads faster, but it didn't start today, which is a fact. Signs authority has shifted. Child interrupts adults without correction. Child negotiates every instruction. Always combative. Always want a rebuttal of what you're saying as a parent. Always got something to say. Always want to have the last word when you're the parent. And they should shut up and listen. And then when you're done talking, and then when you say, oh, okay, you got the floor now. Go ahead, express your feelings, or say what you got to say now. But you don't cut your parents off, and you really, really listen. Don't just hear what they got to say. Listen. It's totally two different things. And parents need to teach their children that as well, that those are totally two different things. Listening and just hearing. That's a fact. Parents explain excessively instead of enforcing. Child insults parent without consequences. Again, it goes back to the parent want to walk on eggshells and basically are scared to set boundaries, or to, even if they give their little child a little spanking, that's still not abuse, for real. a little spanking, or if not a little spanking, you know, implement the traditional consequences, the punishment. And I don't mean punishment like severely a punishment. No, I'm talking about like you take their privileges from them. I guarantee you, nobody does that. Nobody takes it back to the back in the day with a real true definition of punishment. Like, okay, you do not, like, you see all these great devices and stuff, all these devices that cost money that I bought you, that I paid for. You ain't got no job. I bought you this, and I didn't have to. I brought you this because I felt that you needed it, of course, because your phone ultimately is a lifeline. Even though it come with all those beautiful, nice trinkets and stuff, and add-ons and all the other features that come with those beautiful phones. But ultimately, a phone is a lifeline. So that way you can get in contact with your loved ones, your parents, and they can contact you and keep and you know, keep that connection. That's very important as a parent. That's why all the kids got phones, as they should have. So parents could go back and very much implement those great tools with the punishment, like taking their devices, taking things that you bought your children, and everything, you know, all the toys and all the things that makes them happy as kids. Take it away from them if they do not act right. And then until they act right, then you let them have it, or you let them, you know, play with it or whatever, or let them have what you bought. But until they act right, then, you know, they can't not get what you have bought them. Take that shit away. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna melt. Your world is not gonna come crashing down as a parent because you took their devices away. The thing that they most glued to, they most prized possessions, that makes them so happy as a kid, take their PS5 away. Take their phone away. Get a backup phone. Get a burner phone. Get a burner phone from Rite Aid. Get one of those burner phones, those government phones, and swap out. They still got a phone number. They can call you and you can reach them. They still got a phone number. But as far as that iPhone and that high tech, you know, beautiful, fly looking phone, expensive phone, you take that away from them and you swap it out and give them the government phone. And see how they shape up. 3 weeks from then of enduring that, or almost a month of enduring that, of them only using that Obama government phone, and they can't use their iPhone or their Galaxy. Watch how the dynamics change. But nobody likes to use these methods, or think outside the box. Use these beautiful methods that could really possibly make an impact. So yeah. So, and the next one is, devices are used as emotional pacifiers. Wow. Like I had created this and put together this episode. I didn't even go through, like, reread and go through all my notes and reread everything, and, you know, before I started filming and everything. This is the first time that I am getting this far and reading this. So, and I just got finished covering that before I even got to this. I covered that so much. Again, get an Obama phone, get an Obama phone, a government phone, and swap it out, or get a phone from Rite Aid. Get one of those track phones from Rite Aid, and the minute that they really act up, swap it out. Take that iPhone from them, because that's their baby. So take that iPhone from them. And matter of fact, this is what you do. Don't even get them a phone that's a touchscreen. The substitute phone that you get, Don't make sure it's not a touchscreen. Make sure you get a flip phone, because they still sell them. They still sell them. Go right in Rite Aid or CVS or Walmart and get you a flip phone, or order it from Amazon. Amazon it came a long way. They got everything. Go get a flip phone that has black and white, or the one that got the color, but it's still a flip phone. And when you put them on punishment and take their device away, they baby, which is like the iPhone and things like that, you swap it out with a flip phone. And do that punishment for a week. Not even a week, excuse me. The first punishment, don't go too hard with that. Do it for like about a good 3 weeks straight of them just having that flip phone in their hand, and them experiencing that flip phone in their hand, comparison to all the smartphones that exist and that everybody has now. And that's the type of phones we use. So when them as millennials, they see that flip phone, they're going to, man, I guarantee you, the dynamics will definitely change as far as moving forward, getting better. Try to implement that type of punishment. And then the last one, parents fears child's reaction. I done seen on the outside looking in, which is really disturbing. I done seen kids literally put their hands on their mothers. I'm talking about they like 10 years old, 11 years old, really putting their hands on their mother. I never seen nothing like that when I was really, 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 really younger. And I'm from the hood. I'm from one of the most dangerous places in Brooklyn. I'm from right next door to Brownsville. You know what I'm saying? Grimeyville, Bed-Stuy, do or die, which they say that's the heart of Brooklyn. And of course, where I'm from is so gritty. It's the belly of the beast. So, anyway, so yeah, parents fear their kids hitting them back, because at that point, in the dynamics between a relationship of mother and child, or parents and children or child, they done open up Pandora's box and condition this child or the children so much, and molded them so much, and open up that door to make them so comfortable, like it's okay to behave like that, to the point where they reach a certain age and it's too late. They too much stuck in their ways. And then you try to still implement that beautiful parent, or try to bring back that beautiful parenting power, to start setting boundaries, or start like getting back at it and start putting your foot down. But overall, sadly and unfortunately, it's too late, too little too late. And then the children are so disrespectful to the level at that point where they literally putting their hands on a mother. That is very disturbing. So I'm gonna give you some tools. But what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just this on this board, I'm gonna write a couple of things down and give you some tools and stuff like that. I have a lot of neat stuff, a lot. So I'm gonna just I'm gonna just say the do's and the don'ts, of course. So the do's for parents: model the tone you demand. Model the tone you demand. Correct immediately, not later. Put your foot down immediately, not later. Keep rules simple. Stay united. If it's a father figure in the family, in your life, always keep that united front. So even if you and that man ain't seeing eye to eye for that day, or been a couple of days, y'all done, mentally went at it, probably over something stupid, y'all would definitely bounce back. And especially if y'all know that, y'all know y'all patterns as the mother and father, of however long y'all been together, y'all know each other's patterns, y'all know that y'all gonna bounce back. Or because kids, they look at that. Again, kids, children, or even teenagers, kids, period, children, period, children and a child, period, is like sponges. They absorb everything. They're extremely, extremely, extremely smart and very advanced, especially the children in this day and age. So always keep a united front. Always keep that united front co-parenting in front of those children. Because if you have one parent that's very jovial, very bubbly, but then the other parent is the one that doesn't play like that, and always put the boundaries down, or always set those boundaries, but then the other parent is always the good cop like that, always like crazy, and so super bubbly, that confuses the children. That confuses them, and it confuses the child. It makes them think that, okay, well, I can't. And then especially if mommy tells him, he or her, listen, you can't do this, da 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 da, this is not cool. But then they go behind their mother's back when their mother just told them that they can't have this and they can't have that, and set the rules down and the boundaries, excuse me. But the child or the children go behind mommy's back and go to daddy on a low key, sneakingly, and try to get daddy's approval of whatever, and like to try to like basically undermining what mommy said, and that's not cool. So always keep a united front. Remove privileges calmly, not aggressively or in a crazy manner. Calmly. Praise respectful behavior. Protect your authority in public. Again, just like I said, how I done seen situations where in public a child is really, really cursing the mother out in front of, hitting the mother, telling the mother, mommy, I want this, I want that. And then the minute that she say, no, you can't have that, he falls out on the floor, start rolling around like he in Survivor in a game show, going crazy, hitting his mother, hitting her mad hard on her leg, and screaming his lungs out in a grocery store and stuff like that. That's really crazy. So always protect your authority in public. Now here's the don'ts, and then after this, I'm gonna call it a wrap. Don't argue like siblings. So basically, don't be sitting up there arguing with your child like if you your child's age, and y'all like if you literally he or she of your child's age. Don't be sitting up there going back and forth like you're the parent. Like that's crazy that any parent gotta go through that, where you arguing like y'all in the classroom, like y'all pupils in the classroom, arguing back and forth like y'all in third grade. Don't insult back. So don't create insults. If they children are children, talk slick, especially if they going through puberty. They teenagers especially, they talk crap anyway. That's just their nature. That's just the phases that they go through. But don't insult them back. Don't stoop to their level. Again, acting like you're a child yourself. Don't threaten without enforcing. So don't make threats and promises that you can't keep, that you know that right behind that, just that quick, you're going to be a softy, and let them slide. Stick to your guns, so to speak. Don't negotiate respect, of course. Don't overshare adult struggles. Don't parent from guilt. And the last one, don't let screens replace supervision. Which again, is that whole phone thing with the social media, of course. It's like that phrase that they're saying, social media raises the kids instead of the parents raising the kids. Literally, social media with most of these situations and these kids are being raised by social media rather than their own parents. And that's about it. So I'm gonna call it a wrap. It's so much stuff here. Like, I love information. It's so much stuff. And I'm already at 40. So I had a really interesting episode. And once again, shout out to all my faces. Thank you, YouTube. I really appreciate you so much for this opportunity. Other than that, please like and subscribe. And again, if it doesn't apply, it doesn't apply. And even if it doesn't apply, and if you love information, and if it's something that, if it's a homegirl or homegirls that you know for a fact that's very relatable to this, and you come across this and you want to pass this along to them, you know, I really, really, really would appreciate it. And it would mean a lot to me, because if a couple of mothers can get this type of advice and be grateful about it, I'm all for it. And then even if they're not, like I said, there's people that this stuff don't relate to, and then it's a large percentage of stuff that these type of important things that's very fundamental, these tools and information to us as human beings within society, that can make us better people, you know, and tools that can help us along the way. So I'm all for it. That's what it's about, rebuilding the true definition of rebuilding community. And that's what my platform is for, to talk about the things that nobody don't want to talk about, that everybody shy away from, sweep under the rug, minimize, you know, things like that. So this is very unapologetically raw truth, but still respectable overall, of course. But again, like I said, this is the platform where we gonna definitely talk about it and address it. I love you guys, wherever you at. Big shout out to the whole entire world. Of course, on my end, it's good morning. It's like a little after 6 right now, going on 7 probably. And everywhere else around the world where, as far as the time zone, where it's still dark and still nighttime. So, you know, good night to y'all, and good morning everywhere else. Good afternoon everywhere else, of course. And that's about it. And until next time. And I'm gonna surprise you with the next episode, but until next time, peace.